Hello friends, I'm DragoNate and welcome to another DragoNate Reading Your Answers video. Last week I asked you guys what is the biggest challenge you face every week. You guys answered and I'll be reading your answers in this video. This time hopefully this looks like this is the mic that is properly being used right now. So hopefully that is it, and I am actually recording and everything seems fine. So let's do this properly. Let's make sure there's no issues like there was last week. Now before I get into reading your answers for the last question, we need a new question for this week. And since it is basically winter, I don't know, it may still be just fall and not necessarily winter. So I'm not totally sure about that, but I mean snow is falling. we got some pretty heavy snowfall here, 2 nights ago, and today it looks like it's going to be pretty darn warm, so it's going to melt all the snow again. So your question is, what is your favorite winter activity? Now that doesn't necessarily mean physical activity. That could just be something like staying inside and reading or something like that. But if that ends up being something like skating or skiing or snowboarding or something that's like winter related, that's totally fine too. That's up to you. What is your favorite activity to do in the winter when it is snowing, blah blah blah. Now for some of you I may already know the answer to this, but that is totally fine. Maybe there's something else I don't know about, but either way, leave your answers in the comments below and I'll read them next week. Now let's see your answers for this week. Dr. Dankness says, my biggest challenge every week is waking up and going to school. I totally understand that feeling, because when I was going to school, I'd be waking up pretty darn early as well, and I didn't like it. Now I wake up early and I like it. My mom says biggest challenge every week, actually every day due to my illness. For those who don't know, my mom has multiple sclerosis, MS, is walking properly without falling over. There are more, but I think this is the biggest one. And yeah, throughout her room, because there's no, well, it's not a big room, but you know, it's open, right? It's not a 4x4 cell, so you can't reach both sides with just by spreading out your hands, right? So through her room, from her bed, we have like a bunch of boxes stacked up, and then the closet door open so that she can get to the boxes, then to the closet door, and then to the door. Where going up the stairs to the bathroom, for example, she can at least hold onto the wall or the railing. Me Too says, okay, it took me forever to remember to answer, but planning ahead, mostly relating to exercise. I'm not a runner in autumn, only during summer, and my gym is on the other side of town, so I need a ride for it. Thus, I sometimes end up not getting enough exercise, although it'll be easier now that I can go skiing. The snow just took forever. So the picture I chose is for the planning, because that's what you said first, so but planning ahead is definitely something that's sometimes difficult to do. It's a good skill to have, though. A turtle says, my challenge is trying to see what to wear. It's hard planning out clothing. I was always told to save time in the morning if you're going to school or going to work or whatever, just plan out your clothes the night before. But usually the night before, I'm just tired and I just want to sleep. So no thank you. Now I just kind of throw on whatever the heck I feel like at the time. I don't really care if it matches, just as long as I'm comfortable in it and it's decent. You know, I'm not going to go walking outside my underwear or something like that. Omar says his biggest problem is that he gets nervous really quick, and I understand that one as well. I used to be very, very shy. I still am pretty shy, actually, but I used to be much more shy, to the point I would actually hide behind someone, whoever I'm with, or just like try and avoid contact at all costs. But even now I still get pretty nervous for different things. Usually the first day of a new session when it comes to classes, because I don't know what kids are going to be there, there's probably going to be some new faces, but there's probably going to be some I recognize as well. I always get this like I call it an anxious feeling, because like the insides of my cheek gets really itchy, and I just feel very, very uncomfortable for some reason, even though I've done this now like 400 times. That's an exaggeration, by the way. But even that still just makes me nervous every time. Or any kind of test, any kind of grading kind of test, whatever, regardless of how important it is, I get nervous before going. Eventually you'll learn to either ignore it, which doesn't really work the best, or it'll be less somehow. And Tia Lisa says her biggest challenge is not listening to my depression, especially since I'm transitioning to a new medication. And I know that transitioning to a new medication is always a difficult thing. When it came to, there's this one kid in one of my classes who had ADD or ADHD, which seems to be a almost pretty common thing now, and he was on medication for it, and at one point while they were switching his medication, he was much worse at the time, and so it made everything really difficult. Thankfully the parents were understanding in that, but yeah, changing medication is always going to be a difficult time, so I wish you the best with that and hope that all goes well for you. And my biggest challenge is managing my time every week, because when it comes to these Sunday videos, for example, sometimes they don't end up going up until way late at night, and then it's basically Monday for some people anyway. And when it comes to other things I do, I've talked about this before, I a lot of times I feel that I don't have time, and so that makes it hard for me for certain things, but I do my best and I keep trying to manage my time better. That whole taking notes thing, or writing down whatever's on your mind, that does help, and I've been doing that a little bit lately, but not as much as I probably should be. But yeah, that's mine. So, and that is it for this video, so thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you for your question and answers again. Don't forget your question for this week: what is your favorite winter activity or thing to do during the winter? So leave your answers in the comments below and I'll read them next week. See you all again very soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye, and God bless.